Is it Nishmas? Discuss.
I answer the easiest way to make a rock.
Is it Nishmas? Shalom David Ben. Kein Miskak. Shalom David Ben, kein Miskak. So you can have in mind as you invite the Brudim. For future weeks, everyone's invited obviously to donate, to sponsor, to the Nishmas, to discuss anyone you want. Cool. Hackle, hashtag Hakhel 770. Not to keep anyone waiting, we have here a lot of chashva guests. We're going to get right started with the mashkiach of the American Welcome 770s. There for us, day in, day out. Gute Woche.
As we come to Kinos Hackle, and they say there is that we talk about Hackle and we talk about Motzei Hackle and how important Hackle is, and that you should make a Kinos Hackle. Almost like when we make a Verbringen, and the Teichen of the Verbringen is how important Verbringens are, and the Achlote is to make a Verbringen.
Like a Asif to make another Asif.
It's not like to make. Weet toch, einer steht lem de zweite me guckt, der Melech steht und sagt, Sefer Dvorim, whichever day the Melech geht, I don't know which year how. Al Kolponim, you see from the corner of your eye, wie Eimter steht mit vermachter Egen, and you know your friend and you tell him, guck auf Shimon, meint das Nebuch mit Anemes. Or you look at the other guy, du kennst doch der Oiswarf, jetzt der steht und hält wie ein Zadig. Ich rede nicht wegen die, was eine Medaille sagen, dass der Melech verfällt, das war noch, das war noch. But imagine that. No was. Wir standen ein bisschen mit, dass nicht gewinnen als I once heard a Teich, in der Asorim Nissim, Shnasla, wir sind bei Samikdosh, there was Sprech. So Nissim Shnasla sehen wir Samikdosh. So one of the Nissim is ein den Tzvufim Mishtach v'im Revochim. So the Taich is as the Ikenes is the ein dem Tzvufim. And what begin the zweite, mit gestanden ruhige Heit and could stand next to someone else without it bothering you that he is standing here. And to expand on this a little bit, there's Faginen yanem beruch nisechet. The other person is standing being niseirer. The person has a certain tmimis. To allow him to faginen yanem. Steht nicht hold to that the Evdei Hashem should really be happy when they see other Evdei Hashem. I want to talk about something that's Metzias. It's a normal thing by the frat in this age, Alter Bochrim. It's a normal thing, unfortunately, in broader circles also. But the frat by Alter Bochrim, it's not specifically Lubavitch, it's Klal Yisrael, Lahavdil Lechet Mastam and Ishbeiden, I don't know. There's a teva, as Mezet Yenem, and Mezet Tepes Ernst, Mezet Emetze Nem Tepes Tu Ernst, that you have to say something. With that Tepes, you know, bring him, to say in nice atheists, you want to bring him back to reality. Ad gedekach, there can be a Metzias, that you have 10 Bachrim sitting by Verbringen, and they're all talking, and the standard of the conversation, the Ramah is lower than the lowest of all 10. It's not because anyone wants it. Because they not made it. What's the Diana sagen? I'm going to be the tzaddik. Ich will anheben sagen, Chazan a word from a maimer. Let's be natural. Hagam, the natural of every single bacher over there is more than what's going on. Und wir wissen doch, we all know that the answer is, as der Rebbe gesagt, dass viel mal, al jewish pnei maligim, amitonish nespol werden, der erste Sif in Shulchan Aruch, and it's the Nisoyan of the Torah Dikvis of the Mashiach, and it's wir wissen, and we darf taken nicht nespol werden. Who said that you have to be the one to make Litzonis? The Maligim don't have to be there. It's nicht a mitzvah, so almo sein Maligim, kedei zu kennen Mekayim sein, der Din in Shulchan Aruch, al jewish pnei maligim. And sicher, I feel as it darf sein, is Havaya Amalek Hakhel, but it doesn't have to be you. Bichlal, the way a person talks is mashpi on himself, it's mashpi on his tzvive. Ich nehme mich da weg from the importance and the koyach of Latzonis. It's a very powerful thing, and that's why we're talking about it. Steht kol Latzonis asire, chutz mit Latzonis Davida Zorre. The Chassidim is angenommen, macht Latzonis von Amis Nagid. As the Seder, and the reason is because you don't want to talk about something in an ofen that you have to be shayl it. When you have to talk about something and be shayl it, heißt es, dass die Sache ist, aber es was ich darf shayl sein. Und sonst ist nicht shayl die Sache. Es ist ganz nicht gesagt. Man redet wegen, aber ich sehe, man redet wegen allen Unionen von der Welt, von Hanoch Hase. The answer isn't that I'll be masbit you why a mimer is more important than $100. The ganze Sache ist Latzonis. Latzonis has a very strong place and a very strong keach. Is the bewusste Meise, the Nissen was told Chazak. Latzonis hat nicht kann man nicht durch in der Welt. Sie answered back mit Kabbalas Hilton. Alle kann man nicht durch in der Welt. Latzonis darf man haben. Ich sehe da, aber in der richtige Ort. Avachim sitzen zusammen, whenever the matzav is, if it's by Chesish Vabrengen, if it's by lunch or supper, it doesn't make a difference, it's tam. Als eine sagt ein Wort, als eine steht in der Nur, eine hebt sich auf ein bisschen, vergehen ihm. Als da bewusst der Meise, Reuven Dunin, when he first came, that he went into the Rebbe and he told the Rebbe that he looked around, and keinem Eintisch mit Kedames. No one's for real. The Rebbe said, yeah, but everyone has a little emes. And if you look around, and you take their bissel emes from them, and the bissel emes from Yenim, it's not the Rebbe. Go shopping for emes. The Meise was, the Frierdiker Rebbe had two Chassidim from Odessa that came to him, and the first one went into Yechida, so the Frierdiker Rebbe asked him, was herzig in Odessa, and he said that it's alles gewaltig, and man lernt, and man davens reim, everything. He came out, and his friend asked him, nu wie going Yechidus? So he said that Frierdiker Rebbe asked him, he gave a baricht, he gave a good report, and Frierdiker Rebbe gave him a matbeh. Gewaltig. So he's there geworden, ganz dummut, was heißt? I'm gonna go and I'll say the truth. So he went in, and the Frierdiker Rebbe asked him, was herzig in Odessa, and he said the truth. There's a Shir Chassidus, and no one shows up, and there's a Shir Nigle, and man lernt nicht, and there's the Verbringen, and whatever. His perspective of the truth. I'll go upon him, and the Frierdiker Rebbe gave a krecht, he wasn't happy. See, I'll take a time to the Frierdiker Rebbe, it's not fair. My friend hat geliked und hat bekommen am Matbeh. Ich sag the MS and I got nothing. I didn't. Was tut sich noch, das weiß ich. Question is, in welcher Odess bist du? What's your reality? You can gucken auf jede Sache, you can always find was zu machen Latzonis, was zu Schädel sein, wo zu Mevatel sein. Baruch Hashem, this Mokim Lizgader. To put in a stock and shears, so there's always going to be room. The shaila is what you're looking for. And what you look for, what you speak about, what you talk. In Bechlal, in Shulchan Aruch steht, Bris Klus soll es sein, und sie da. So weiter, ist doch alle wissen, da Yem, that says about the Balabos in Mezhebush that said something, and the Baal Shem Tov gewiesen, wie Pel Mamish, it happens that there's a tetzor from what you talk about. The Sikha Bashas Emir, the Rebbe says that when you talk about something, it's megale by the other person also. It makes that person be that Matthias. I'm talking about by yourself. Ich bringe euch aus der Chaser, ein Wort zum Chassidim. Steht in Afteire, als auf der Munna nicht so mit Piem. The first Teich is that Nichras on PM is part of the losing their money. They don't talk about it. The Chassidische Teich is as of the money because Nichras on PM. And man redt nicht wegen dem, vergesst man. Al Kaponim, coming back to the Nekuda, was wir reden da is, zu verginnen jenem a Tnur of Temimus, to say a positive word, nicht zu Chas v'Sholem mevatel sein, wenn man sagt, der Zweite steht in der Tnur von Esererus. Und dem soll helfen, dass wie bis man dabei ist, bepasst sie gewähnt, als jeden sind gestanden, Esererus und Yiras Hashem, so man echt stehen der Tnur, soll sicher sein zu der Hackle, mit der Melech und der Rebbe sollen lehnen von Abim und Schaletzen, sein Terech Hadosh mit die Tetze. Chaim.
Thank you for this speech as well as for all the times you sit with the Bachrim, for bringing, doing Seder, talking all over the Just a technical note from our, a brief technical note. We have your camera set up, recording everything, live streaming, very sensitive wires. Please don't walk on this area right here, walk the other way. We don't want to, chas v'shalom, mess up the whole system here. Thank you, Rav Asher, for having the... And again, a reminder, if anyone wants to sponsor, last time was very helpful. You give $1, $2, borrow your friend's smartphone, come on and use the Cash App, send $5, $10, whatever it is. It's very helpful. Hashtag 770 Hackle. I don't have the papers with me, sorry. And last but not least, Kamuvan, we have here another chashva guest that also very often sits with the Bachrim at the Fabreganishin and sometimes even during Seder V'chulu, the Rav of Karn Heights. It's my honor to call up Chaver Bezdin, Rabbi Braun, to please share with us a few words.
One of the very last lines in the Sikh of Vayechi Nun Beis is about making a Melava Malka on Motzei Shabbas Vayechi b'roiv pe'er v'hadar. The Rebbe's lashon is shebevadei te'arich b'roiv pe'er v'hadar. Certainly the Melava Malka will take place b'roiv pe'er v'hadar. So Kanai Nahara, this is an actual fulfillment of the Rebbe's Heirah. And hopefully it won't only be b'roiv pe'er v'hadar b'gashmias, but it'll also be b'roiv pe'er v'hadar b'ruchnias. It'll be dvarim ha'itzim na'lev, nechnasim na'lev, u'peil and pulasim, which is the ultimate pe'er v'hadar. The client spoke before about Hackle in the Beis HaMikdash and how people could take the Hackle idea into many different directions. B'chlolos is two kavim when it comes to talking about Hackle. There's the way the whole world looks at Hackle and the way the Rebbe looks at Hackle. So when it comes the year after Shnas HaShemitah, Mikei Sheva Shonim, and you remember the fact that the Beis Hamikdash was an experience called Hackle, so Gedolei Yisrael b'Meshech HaDoros were very bothered, concerned. They were emotionally traumatized, you can say, by the fact that what do we do today about Hackle? Here's a mitzvah that happened as man habayis. We don't have a Beis Hamikdash. At least we should have something. Me'en, one of the most famous Gedolei Yisrael that really that's a gekocht in from Hackle was a yid by the name of the Aderes. Abbreviation of his name, Eliyahu David Rabinovich Tuhumim. He wrote a whole entire sefer on the theme of Hackle. A sefer which the Rebbe references in many, many sichos. From that developed a whole approach, a tnuah of Zeichel Hackle. That we should try to reenact, to do something that we can do today, to remember, to experience as a chreines from Amal. Amal is Gven Hackle. The Rebbe often spoke about the theme of Zeichel Hackle. Many different hasbaras why we don't make a Zeichel Hackle. But the Rebbe's direction, generally speaking, was a fakir to kav completely. Don't make a Zeichel Hackle, make Hackle. Don't think back about what happened at the time of the Beis Hamikdash, and let's remember Hackle and do something to commemorate as Zamal Geven Beis Hamikdash. No, Hackle is any nitzchi, the Rebbe says. Beis Hamikdash is any nitzchi. You could make Hackle out of Golus. You could make a Beis Hamikdash out of your own home. You could make a Kol Gadol out of yourself and out of all the people around you. It's a fakerta direction completely. It's looking back at the past, but looking forward to the future. And b'chlolos, it's not necessarily that these two approaches conflict one another. There's two kavim. The question is, which kav is the ikar avodah? So when it comes to our avodah now in Golus, in the very last moments of Geula, now that we're standing in Motzei Mashiach, but not all of us have opened our eyes completely. So there's a sikh of the Rebbe, this week's parsha, where the Rebbe talks about Ephraim and Menashe. And when the Rebbe said the sikh in Tafshil Lamed, I believe it was Shabbos Vayechi, the Rebbe said that this nukud is very relevant to young people. So they're negated to the Jugend. The Rebbe used the lashon that the young people, they have a teva of his nagdus. They have a teva. They like to oppose things. They don't like frameworks. They don't like establishment. They don't like systems. They don't like structure. It's like fakir. Balabatim love seder. They would love if they would have to keep Sidra Yeshiva. And Bachim is fakir. And Biz the Rebbe says it affects when you get to Hoyrim and Moirim, parents, teachers, they don't like the fact that he's obedience, he's an authority. There's some people that don't like authority. They want to have a system, they want everything to be smooth, everything to be smooth. But some people don't like a system. So the Jugend don't like the system. And the Rebbe tells us that they have to use out that koyach. That's Mo'ir koyach chazakim yoysa when you have this nur benefesh that of hisnagdus. How's that link with Ephraim and Menashe? So in the parsha you have a vikuach, so to speak, between Yaakov and Yosef. When Yaakov sikeles Yodav, he wanted to give dafka bracha through his right hand to Ephraim, and Yosef told him a very interesting approach to go turn to the Rebbe, the Nasi Hader, and tell him, "Nein, there's nicht like my dollars, no, have to correct the Rebbe. Leichei Navi, ki zeh b'choir." That was his job as a masker, as whatever, to go and tell the Rebbe what the real truth is. So Yosef told Yaakov, I think the elster. Menashe's the elster. So Yaakov responds and says, Yodaiti b'ni Yodaiti. Yeah, I'm well aware of the facts. Even though he asked me, Eila, who are these kids b'chlal? Yeah, but I know who's the oldest, I know who's the youngest. Ich darf the man like that everyone said during dein Yom HaChasana. Well, I have to tell you, it's your anniversary today. I mean, I know who's Ephraim, I know who's Menashe. But Gam Hu Yigdal, I know that this guy will be, Ephraim will be greater. Menashe will also be great. But Ephraim is going to be even greater. And like Chassidus always brings, and we all know this, the hill between bracha and tefillah. If a bracha you could just do whatever you want, so why couldn't Yaakov give a bracha that Menashe should end up being greater? Because in a bracha you can only be mamshel what's in the makir, and the makir v'sheirish, Ephraim, a bracha is just pulling down from what's there in the resources, in the storage, in the bank account. So Yaakov has to say the way the facts are, and the facts are that even though Menashe is the b'choyer, Ephraim is really going to end up being better. But Yosef is not totally, it's not just a masked. Yosef is also a halber Rebbe. Yosef was one of the people, called Yosef HaTzadik, who was noted Habris. He's not shaykh any shal toys by Yosef. I can't hold him of Yosef is to be mamshech. Elu told us Yaakov Yosef to be mamshech Hatzilus and B'yah. He's Chassidus tells us that Gufa Bris Kechat Chashiva, that Yaakov and Yosef is one thing. Yaakov is Teferes, Yosef is Yisai. They're one Inyan. So when Yosef is saying Lo Yechenavi, it's another derech in Avodas Hashem. So they're having a disagreement. What's the right approach in Avodas Hashem? Do you say that Menashe comes first, or do you say that Ephraim comes first? Now, Be'emes, Yosef is a stark Yisaid, because Menashe happens to be the oldest. And they used to plan it that way, that Menashe should be the B'chor, that means there's a mile in the Avodah of Menashe. So the Kitzur Achi Nimritz, the derech when we say the Kitzur Achi Nimritz means you're going to stop being Meirich right now. I'll try not to be Meirich. The Nekuda and the Sikha is that Ephraim and Menashe are two drachim of Avodas Hashem. Ephraim, Menashe is called Nashani Lekim, as Kol Amoli, as Kol Beisavi. There was a new generation growing up. There were two kids that did not grow up under the Rebbe's, in the Rebbe's Dal Damas. They're from a post-Canaan environment. They did not live in the time when it was Erki Toiv, sitting over there by the Rebbe, under the Rebbe's feet, B'lashon HaYidua, and appreciating what it means to be by Yaakov Avinu's Farbrengens, and Yaakov Avinu's Koshel Bracha, and see that for real. And they're living in a Mitzrayim environment. Mitzrayim is not a very healthy environment. It's Erev HaSaretz. So what do you do when you have kids on the Gezenim Rebbe? They don't even know what Beis Avi means. They never saw a Beis Avi. So you have to give them Zechroinus. You start a WhatsApp group called Zechroinus von Over. There's Amoli, Beis Avi, and there's Nashani. Nashani, the Rebbe teaches that the reason why Rashi doesn't translate the word Nashani, because Al Pi Pshat, Nashani means Sprungen. Brings another Rashi in Chumash, a Gida Nasha. Nashani means, normally we translate in Cheder, Nashani means forget. The Rebbe brings both Perushim. Nashani means jump. This is a jump over. There's the time of Amoli and Beis Avi. Mit gechazert siches, mit gesturm, mit gearbeitet damit, mit gehört, mit verbrengt. And now we jumped over to a whole new stage. And because of that, there's a chashash of Nashani. We'll forget us all. There's a young generation which leirah Rebbe miyamav. So the way to get him not to forget is by talking about the fact giving him Menashe. And every person knows, what's dein Name Nachamol? Menashe. Was ist du Menashe? Was da Amoli and Beis Avi. This helps him remember. This guy Gum is a chrein, is a yearning for the past. There's another child which is Chetchila about Tshuva. Doesn't know from Amol. He carves himself out a new approach. We live now in Mitzrayim, so there's a derech avodah for Mitzrayim. There's an Eretz Ani, and we could in Eretz Ani can make Hifrani Lekim Eretz Ani. Over here we can make a whole new Seder Avodah. Yisrael Matech HaCheshech Fakert is the Mailand after now. It's even greater than ever. B'chulu b'chulu. So one guy is looking Zechel Hackle, looking back to the past, and one guy is saying, no, let's look ahead. You can call it Sur Merah and Asay Tov if you want. There's Sur Merah and Asay Tov. Try to do what you can do now. And there's a Mailand, this one, a Mailand, that one. If you want, you can learn the Sikh inside. It's Vayechi Tav Shin Lamed, Chelik Tezvav, Parshas Vayechi. I don't remember which Sikh in Parshas Vayechi. But for those of you who don't know, in the beginning of the Sikh is an index. So Mitzad Yosef, the Maila is Dafka. Yosef is a Mekusher. the same guy that says Lo Navi, but then calls the person who remembers the Zechrenis. So Yosef is verkehrt. He remembers the Geven Amol. He remembers, and he wants to koch the Geven Amol, and every another Zikar and another this, and he lives with that, and that's what him and Asher. This is the right approach. Okay, Yosef has an Ephraim. That's not the main thing. And Yaakov says, Gam hu yigdal. There's two drachim, but by me the most important thing is Menashe, is Ephraim. The Iker Shleimus, you see the Shleimus of Yaakov, Dafka in a place where it's Eretz Ani, where the guy is totally disconnected from a Maimon and Matzah of Yaakov, und dort in Tutur of Ephraim. That's the emes of Shleimus of Shleimus of Chai Yaakov. So which one comes first, Batel? So in Seder Aleida, Menashe comes first. There's no way you can move forward, no way and try to accomplish this man Hagolus, to make a Yisrael Metoch HaCheshach and accomplish the Rebbe's Kavanah of L'Hodim Beis HaMashiach. Rephrase, it's not the Rebbe's Kavanah of L'Hodim Beis HaMashiach, the Rebbe wants it to be our Kavanah. L'Hodim Beis HaMashiach. It should be Yemei Kol Yemei Chayecha. There's no way we could do L'Hodim Beis HaMashiach if we don't stop back and think and maintain our Hiskashrus and remember what's the Geven Amol. You can't skip Aleph Beis and go straight to an Aleph Nun Beis. There's a Nun before the Aleph, Nun Aleph Nun Beis, and there's also Aleph Beis. So of course you have to remember, you have to know Basile Gani Tavshin Yud Aleph, and you have to know this all, and perhaps you have to know this before Basile Gani Yud Aleph also. There's 6 generations that come before, and there's Matan Tov that happened at some stage too, and there's B'riyas Ha'olam, whatever, there's a whole Seder Avodah. When a person remembers and kocht sich and will hear nach Chassidische Wort and will listen was Geven Beis Sov and he lives with that, that's the only way you're going to get to the Avodah of Ephraim. But ultimately, what is the Kavanah? The Kavanah is that we should stop and just be Menashe people? No, the ultimate Kavanah, Yaakov says, is Asav seine Hefran lekim beretzani. As Bochum von Heint können uftan a Sach mehr, was man kann uftan amol. And the Rai is a stark Rai. I know people don't like hearing this. Anything that the Rebbe said in Meshach HaShalim, let's talk in the Nashani language. Let's talk Zechrenis and Amol. The Rebbe said many things over the years, and B'derech Klal, whatever the Rebbe said was not kept. That's the fact. A lot of things the Rebbe asked should happen, and they did not happen. And if they did happen, it was a mechzel l'shlush l'reviyah. And the attitude was, how many shluchim went out from Tavshin Yud to Tavshin Chaf? How many shluchim went out from Tavshin Chaf to Tavshin Lamed? And how they went out, and what was the cheshbon? The Yechidna went with Mamish, with a ganze hakrov, and ganze, and come to a brand new place. But Derechal, first of all, the person went out on shluchas, where did he go? To a place where there's infrastructure, to a place where there's a community, to a place where there's everything there. So the example of shluchas, okay, that's good for Kenes HaShluchim to be able to say all the shluchim have to go Tamas, okay, we know that line already. And then we have more people standing up from the ones before. But it's not only in Avodas HaShluchas, it's in Mamish in every year. We look now back and people say, I don't understand, the Rebbe told me, what does it mean to listen? The Rebbe told me Yechidus. The Rebbe gave him a zettel. It wasn't a Igris Kodesh or watching a video or a cholam that he got. And that's from that he understood what the Rebbe wants, right? It wasn't one of these hocus-pocus methods of getting now the Rebbe Gefin Naveg. He was in Yechidus, he was by dollars, and the Rebbe told him, Eins be'eins. Every person who we hung around with, we have, Bacham today have a file on everyone, right? So for every single person you have a file, you can write all the times that he didn't listen to the Rebbe, all the times the Rebbe gave him sharp answers, all the times the Rebbe screamed at him. Like you do the story, there were 2 Chassidim that met, and one was very tzebrachen, comes with names, and so Chassid A turns to Chassid B and tells him, why are you so tzebrachen? He says, he got such a sharp answer from the Rebbe. The verse is spelled, really, so by the way, I have such a long list. So we have a file on every single person, how each time when he didn't listen. Well, yeah, that was the Seder, no? Today's no such thing for Metzias, not Shaykh for Metzias. Except for when it comes to Sidrei Yeshiva, okay, the Yom Tefillin, right? But in Yanim Ikrim, I mean, if the Rebbe would tell me, by from Prati, to keep Sidra Yeshiva, obviously I would listen. But the Rebbe was telling me when he spoke about Sidra Yeshiva, to gemeint that's nicht gemeint mir. That was Amal. So we have the ability of Efrani Lakim Eretz Ani, we have an ability to ufton the Rebbe's shlichus greater than ever before. Side the Keiches and Asach Aggressive Keiches, we can create a Yisra and Teich HaCheshet. The soldiers that the Rebbe is going to bring and win over the war, Lahavi L'Meisa Mashiach, is not going to be, sorry to say, not Shmuel Levittin, not Nissen Nemenov, and not Gershom El Gerelik. None of those people. Because the people that are going to bring Mashiach, the people that are around today, who are going to be the people that the Rebbe is going to say, these are the people that brought about, that fulfilled the Rebbe's shlichus, Saif Basil Gani Yud Aleph, and Saif Chav Ches Nissen Nun Aleph, and Saif told us new Beis. The shlichus of Kol Yumecha Yachal Lahavi L'Mashiach, who's going to bring Yemei Mashiach with Pearl? The Bachrim that are here today, they're going to bring about Yemei Mashiach. They're going to make that in this Eretz Ani, it's going to be such a Efrani, such a Nayat Nu Chadash of turning over the entire world. The same look that the Rebbe says, you could find yourself in some Farukta village, living with 2.5 people, and you're supposed to go around and tell people, Shnas Hackle, and us 3.5 people sitting by the table are going to become the Beis Hamikdash and the Hackle and the Melech and the Kohen Gadol, and we're going to make it happen. Was for an Erechot sitting on Shivser Ba'adar, Tavshin Pei Gimel, or whatever day it is, in South Dakota, with 5 people around my table, to the Maim of the Matzah of Hackle and the Beis Hamikdash with the Melech Yisrael standing on a beam of Shalates. My beam is not made out of eights. The Fabaisna is lousy. No, over here it's Sakabare Pevada. The crowd is horrible. And I'm supposed to become the Melech right now. So the Rebbe says, no, if I cared, this Hackle that you do right now, like the Rebbe says in the Sikh and Lamadal, is even more fakert than the original Hackle. Because the original Hackle has all the technical issues. You have the video camera, it's working very, very well, the Bima Shalet, it's all organized. So maybe that could take away from the Ikirin of Liris Hashem. The Mahus of Hackle is missing the Beis HaMikdash. That's pretty much what the Rebbe says. Not that it's missing, the Rebbe says, which is not going to undermine Hackle and Beis HaMikdash, but you could get carried away with all the hoo-ha. It's like, Shmak if I bring in, what are you talking about, we were pushing, we were tzichas, but the Liris Hashem, Lavdaf was there. It was a real Hackle, but... And when you're doing the Hackle in South Dakota, or in Knesset, I don't know all the names on the map, when you're sitting there with your few chevra, and you're talking to them, that's Hackle, you have to be inspired, and that is the ultimate Hackle. So we sitting today have the koich of Efrani Lakim Beresani more than ever before. So Leibish Matzlich Zayin, as a Talmid Atmim, Bezei Zayin Echel Bez David, Bezei Shem Menatzech Yevend Melchama, like the Rebbe says. We're already past Chet for Ikvis Mishichecha. We're already up to the Nitzachim. Baruch Hashem Lo'elam Am V'yamim. We're ready when Menasech the war. They're going to actually be Matzlich B'Pearl and bring about the Efrani Lakim Beresani. Zechzem and the Rebbe take from Yad Mamish. We're going to now.
Before we move on to B'chs HaMazon, I just want to mention that one of the Bachrim said he gave us $5 in honor of the birthday of a Tamim and the Laufer. Everyone's encouraged to give their own $5.